Okay, we got to move on here. All right. We need one more songwriter. Let's see. We've got a songwriter today in the audience who was rewarded the other day by a lady by the name of Miss Preston. Is it Ms. Preston or Mrs. Preston? Francis. Okay. Anyway, he wrote a little song that got the 7 millionth airplay on it the other day. And anyway, you might recognize this song. It's not the Alka-Seltzer song. That's a hint. But why don't you come on up here, whoever it is, and we need to have somebody come up and also accompany you, I think the deal is, who's going to play with him. And we're going to have this song sung by the writer and played by a musician, right, Mr. Addrisi? Come on over here and sit and talk to us for a minute, okay? Come on over this way.
Would you care to dance? Okay.
Okay. And introduce yourself to this audience now. Do you know anything in Russian?
Rosh Hashanah.
Well, you know, they say that we're in Russia.
In Russia.
Rosh
Rosh
Hashanah.
Hashanah.
Okay, cool. Then we need a guitar player
No, we
for
have
you.
him. We have him.
We have him.
Rod.
Where is he?
He's right here behind us.
Ron is going to play? Oh, great. Okay.
I was in the 942nd Troop Carrier Wing.
Cruel. And what war was that now?
That was the in-between war.
The in-between
I
war.
had an affliction. They were actually going to take me out of the service because I kept, and don't take this in offense, I kept getting like this rash in my groin. And I couldn't believe it. This is on the internet.
Is this sizzle?
And
is this what you want?
Wouldn't go away.
A rash in your groin?
And it wouldn't go away. And finally,
I'm from San
sergeant.
Francisco.
Finally, the sergeant said, "I'll fix it all up," and he cut an inch off my Groban boot. He cut an inch off the boot.
And God!
And the chafing went away. Not saying I'm small.
I thought this was a war story.
But the boots were tall.
You poor man.
Are you ready to go? All right.
I wish that
An
Amy
inch
was here.
off
Amy
my
here,
Grogan boot. Say that.
Okay.
All right, we're ready.
Now introduce yourself.
All right.
Okay. And
This is Rod Stone, a wonderful songwriter singer. I'm Richard Addrisi. At times. Anyway, about 1967, my brother and I lived at home with my parents at 28 years old, two Italian boys that didn't want to leave home. Mother's cooking, as you can see. And at about 3 o'clock in the morning on September 67, my brother came in and said, "I just asked Jackie to marry me, and she came back and said, will there ever come a time when you grow tired of me?" And he said, and he said, "Never, my love." He said, "Isn't that a great title?" So 3 o'clock in the morning, went in the back room with Mom and Dad asleep and the dog asleep. We wrote. You asked me if there'll come a time when I grow tired of you. Never, my love. Never, my love. And you wonder if this heart of mine will lose its desire for you. Never, my love. No, never, my love. How can you think love will end when you know that my whole life depends on you? Everybody. Ba 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 ba. Never, my love. No, never, my love. How can you think love will end when I've asked you to spend your whole life with me? And you ask me if there'll come a time when I grew tired of you. Never my love, never my love, never my love. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I dedicate that song to my wonderful brother who passed away in 1984 of pancreatic cancer. But he was a wonderful veteran, too, along with that. So for him, Donald Addrisi.
Yeah. You wanted to do a song, too, right?
Yeah, I was going to do it. I don't think this was on.
Is that one on, Phil?
Is this one on?
Is this
here, Phil?
pizzazz? Or is this,
Can you hear me
the
out
sizzle?
there?
It's Amy! Oh, now I'm nervous. Damie, you got to come up here. We're on the internet. God, we're on the internet. Can you believe
Isn't
it?
this exciting? Everybody can go home and turn on their computers and
You got to come
watch
up
us
here,
live.
Amy. In a minute, you got to. No, she's coming right now. Just be quiet for a minute. You're just a songwriter. Amy's got to come up here. Yeah, she hates this. Oh, isn't that sweet? Oh,
I was going to tell you how wonderful it is about us together this night. It means a lot to me.
Will you sit for a second? I want to tell a story. I want to tell a story about my real hero. I came to this town about 15 years ago, and I had $10 in my pocket, and I had a guitar, and I had a suitcase. And in my suitcase, half filled with writing, and the other half filled with chef cooking costumes so I could make a living, because I was a practical man. And they said, oh, you have to go out to the Bluebird. And I said, why? And they said, well, that's where songwriters go. And I said, well, I'm a songwriter, so that's where I have to go. So I came out here. Well, in those days, Amy would stand up here, and there was one microphone, and you played the master of ceremonies, okay? And everybody would come in, and they'd all be talking, and, and talking, which I was in my cowboy costume, which is a picture hangs on the wall over here I'm very proud of, underneath the Haight and Ashbury sign from my hometown. And Amy came up on stage here, and she came up to the microphone like this. And the talking suddenly didn't talk so much until finally you could hear a pin drop in this room. And Amy said in a scolding voice that you will listen to songwriters in this club and you will not talk. And I fell in love with her. I never ever had a hero in my life up to that point like I have here next to me. Okay, now you can sing. Go ahead. All right. Follow that one. Go ahead.
I don't think I can, to tell you the truth. Although I came here about 15 years ago, and this is exactly where I was sitting the first time I ever sang in Nashville.
Do you want to sit there instead of?
No, I mean over there where you're sitting.
You want to sit here?
Do you mind?
No.
No.
You want to sit here? Is that what you're saying? Well, you heard me talking about being from San Francisco.
Can I sit here and there since there's two of me?
Absolutely.
Do I? Okay, I'm going to make a shift to the left here.
Go ahead.
Port for all you sailors.
Now listen, I'm from San Francisco, big guy. Don't worry about it.
Okay, all right. I don't mind about that.
We'll be all right.
Well, actually, I'm from the West Coast, too.
Oh, two.
Two of us.
Oh, cool.
Wow. That's sweet. Anyway, I sang up here, and I was real excited because this was my debut. I had 3 guitars sitting around me. I was going to play all these different things, and I got up here, and I had chronic bronchitis at the time. And I got up here, and I got halfway through one song, completely choked it up, walked out of here totally brokenhearted. And everybody was laughing, too, at the same time. So that was my debut in Nashville.
That was a real enlightening story.
Thought I'd just share that since
was that the
that's
sizzle
where we are.
that we were? Are we on in Russia?
Now, I have been to Prague.
Are
I will
we?
tell you that much.
Hi, Yeltsin. Hi.
Boris,
Boring.
good to see you, my man, comrade. I heard an amazing statistic here a couple days ago that 40% of America's homeless are veterans, are war veterans. And it reminded me, we have a little room in the inn thing at our church, and it reminded me of a guy that I met back then that was a veteran, and he kind of more or less lost his mind. And he was kind of the inspiration for this song. It's called On the Road Back to You. I fumbled through the night on the road back to you. I went wrong where I should have gone right on the road back to you. And I've lost my dignity, sabotage my sanity, praying love would set me free on the road back to you. Raging rivers I have crossed on the road back to you. Friends I've won and friends I've lost on the road back to you. And I know I can't return over bridges that I've burned. That's a lesson that I've learned on the road back to you. I know I can't return over bridges that I've burned. That's a lesson that I've learned on the road back to you. That's a lesson that I've learned on the road back to you.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Is that your guitar?
What's that?
Is that your guitar?
Does anybody need to use it? Somebody need to
Grant?
use this guitar?